When I was a kid, I was really into the idea of traveling and exploring the world. Growing up in an unusually diverse American suburb, I was exposed to all kinds of different cultures that fascinated me. I also spent a lot of time with my grandparents, who would always share stories and photos from all their trips throughout the world, which would absolutely intrigue me. My grandparents were quite the worldly people, and they inspired me to try and be that way too. Even at such a young age, I already knew that I wanted to get out and see the whole world. Unfortunately, my family wasn't really fortunate enough to go overseas or even throughout the US that much. We weren't poor by any means, but let's just say that compared to the other kids, my idea of a vacation was to visit my grandparents in our state's designated beach city, or to visit my mom's side of the family up in New York. I did love those trips, and I definitely never felt ungrateful or anything, but I was always jealous of my more fortunate classmates and friends when they would talk about all the places they would travel to and how much fun they had exploring places outside the US. Even now in university, I feel this way. Hearing my friends and peers talk about various study abroad trips or vacations they take when I myself have still never left the country and can count the number of states I visited with my fingers. I was only a little kid, yet I already felt stuck. I felt that no matter what, I would forever be trapped in or near my home state. Sure, I had all kinds of different people surrounding me who were more than happy to share a piece of themselves with me, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't the same as hopping on a plane and experiencing what they were talking about firsthand. It was a rare, yet awful feeling to have at such a young age. I was starting to accept my situation, and that my only way of seeing the world would be through my family's Windows 7 desktop, on sites like Google Images or YouTube. However, I had a special little guy who would always be there for me and have my back when I fell down. As a kid, I was also really into Sonic the Hedgehog. I couldn't tell you why I loved Sonic so much as a kid. Maybe I simply enjoyed the games. Maybe the characters and aesthetics specifically appealed to me. Maybe I loved that he represented freedom, that he was always on the move and adventuring to new and fascinating places. Or maybe I just loved the fact that he was cool, fast, and blue. Sonic was a constant throughout my childhood life, and come on, he clearly still is. But because of that, I was always picking up new Sonic games from GameStop. Pre-owned games used to actually be cheap, if you remember or not, so my dad was okay with getting me a new game or two every now and then. I got quite a few games because of this, and one day, I just so happened to pick up Sonic Unleashed from the sea of games on the shelves. Almost immediately, I fell in love with this game. From when I first picked it up to when I beat it, Sonic Unleashed was my life. It was like the game was made for me. There were a couple reasons for why this particular Sonic game stood out to me. For one, the game was just generally good. I'll briefly touch upon my thoughts about it later, but I do honestly think it's a great Sonic game. Additionally, you go really fast in this game compared to what I was used to, being the classics and Adventure 1, so needless to say, I was incredibly thrilled by the day levels and the flashiness put into them. Also, Sonic turns into a werewolf, and for a reason that I didn't quite understand at the time, that really appealed to me. But one of the biggest reasons for why I loved Sonic Unleashed was that it was literally a world adventure. In Sonic Unleashed, you travel to various countries throughout the world in an effort to restore the planet back to normal. When you're not blasting away through day stages or running wild in night stages, you're exploring towns and talking to people. I spent a lot of time in these hub worlds, exploring every inch and talking to every person I could. While other kids would probably ignore all that and just focus on the actual stages, I thoroughly enjoyed this aspect of the game. As I spent time interacting with each country's unique and diverse people, I was appreciating the beauty of Spagonia's historically rich city, watching the animals roam about outside the villages of Mazuri, or taking in the thick jungles and bright blue water of Autobot, all while some incredible music is playing. In addition to the normal but still very welcome Sonic fare, Several tracks are inspired by all kinds of world music. Like, seriously, this game's score is super underrated. Now, I don't have to be the one to tell you that all these countries aren't real. Although heavily inspired by real countries across the globe, each country is completely fictional. Sorry, I'm devastated to tell you that you can't really go to Eggman Land. Despite all the countries in Sonic Unleashed being fake, they were real to me. I couldn't leave the US in real life, but in Sonic Unleashed, I could go to any country at any time. I truly felt like I was exploring a bright and vibrant Greek city, taking in the vastness of the Great Wall of China, and experiencing the hustle and bustle of a Middle Eastern city completely different from the few American cities I've been to. Sonic Unleashed was a welcomed escape for me. It allowed me to achieve my dream of exploring the world, and I even had a great travel buddy to experience everything with. Thank you, Chip, you sugar-guzzling, silly Billy cutie patootie. Unfortunately, journeys must come to an end, and after a fierce battle with Dark Gaia and the finalized restoration of the planet, I had saved and seen the whole world. I bid farewell to Chip with, admittedly, a few tears in my eyes, but also Sonic Unleashed. I had a lot of fun with the game, but the world adventure was over. I didn't really touch Sonic Unleashed again for a long time. It honestly only entered my headspace when someone online brought it up to say how much it sucks, or can you believe Sega turned Sonic into a werewolf? God, I am really glad that we're past those stupid remarks, but anyways, the game undoubtedly made an impact on me, but I simply had finished my journey, and was quickly growing up. Sonic was still a constant in my life, and I still wanted to leave the country, but I had more important things to think about, like high school, extracurriculars, personal problems in my life, getting into college, and now graduating college and getting a job. It also didn't help that the game was stuck on outdated consoles. I don't own a PS2, my 360 had various issues, the Wii version isn't a great way to play, and my PS3 was unfortunately on its way out. But you can probably see where this is going. One day, a certain tweet popped up on my feed that I could have never anticipated. Sonic Unleashed is now playable on PC. Thanks to a dedicated group of wonderful Sonic fans, the game has been recompiled and is now more accessible than ever. Needless to say, I was ecstatic! I had recently been meaning to replay Sonic Unleashed, and I was already planning to play it during spring break somehow, which was soon approaching. So imagine how great it felt to have this land right in front of me. It's an incredible version of the game too, with all kinds of improvements to the base game that go much appreciated. Once I had some rare free time from class, I immediately downloaded and set up Unleashed Recompiled. I was excited and in disbelief that I would actually be able to finally and easily replay one of my favorite childhood Sonic games. I was a little anxious that it wouldn't work or that I wouldn't enjoy the game as much as I did when I was younger, but my anxiety melted away the more I played. Sonic Unleashed was as good as I remember. Mostly. Regardless, there was one thing that stood out to me more than my thoughts, opinions, and hot takes about the game. The sense and idea of going on a world adventure. Suddenly, I was a kid again, and I was exploring all the countries that I had dreamed of visiting. Once again, I had the ability to escape the confines of my surroundings and experience vastly different people, places, and cultures. Nothing had changed. I was doing and feeling the same things as when I was a kid. I was enjoying and exploring every part of the hub areas. I was constantly talking to every town resident. I was enjoying the music of each country. I was traveling and exploring the whole world once again. Replaying Sonic Unleashed made me feel not just deeply nostalgic, but a little emotional too. I had somehow forgotten my dream and what Sonic Unleashed did for me, and now it was coming back to me all at once. How much I wanted to travel the world, how much I wanted to talk to different people, how much I wanted to just get out and go somewhere that wasn't here, and how much Sonic Unleashed, despite its faults, let me do that. Ultimately, Sonic Unleashed isn't a very huge game, but it certainly feels massive and expansive, even now as an adult. To me, there really are whole countries past the hub worlds, day stages, and night stages, and even then, those parts of the game feel gigantic. It still feels like there's more for me to see and experience for the first time. There truly is no game like Sonic Unleashed that makes me feel like there are literally endless possibilities. So, thank you, Sega and Sonic Team. Thank you for making Sonic Unleashed and giving me the ability to explore the different countries and cultures I have always dreamed of seeing. Thank you especially for putting in the time, effort, and research into making accurate and respectful representations of cultures around the world when many others don't care to at all. Thank you very much to the team behind Unleashed Recompile for stepping up in place of Sega and reminding me of my childhood dream and the impact that Sonic Unleashed had made on me. Someday, I really will leave the US. I will travel the world and experience all kinds of new places, cultures, and things. I promise you that one day I will see all that the world has to offer. But for now, I will experience the world adventure I've been planning all these years in Sonic Unleashed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you pardon my dumb puns and crappy mic. This is literally a webcam mic from 2013, I think, that I've had in my family for a long time, and I honestly didn't really feel like waiting to use my college's really nice recording booth. I just wanted to get it done before spring break ended, and I had a lot of energy from the furry convention. I think I showed a video of it that I just came back from. It's mostly because there was so much Sonic stuff. I have like a lot of Sonic stuff from it. It's kind of crazy, but anyways, I don't really know how many people can relate at all to my relationship with Sonic Unleashed. To be honest, I felt kind of silly at times writing this video, but I truly do think it's special, and really seeing all these Sonic fans talk about what the game meant to them inspired me to do the same. There really is a reason why us Sonic fans are so obsessed with this blue hedgehog. A lot of Sonic games just have content that connects to us for personal reasons, and if you ask a Sonic fan why their favorite game is their favorite, they will often talk about what its content personally means to them. And let me just end with this. While I really do appreciate the work of the Unleashed Recompile team for making such an amazing port, I definitely encourage you to support an official remaster or port if Sega ever releases one, because Sonic has a bit of an accessibility problem when it comes to officially playing the games. So we would really want to show Sega that we would love it and appreciate it if something was done about it. Like, it's kind of crazy that this is the way we have to play Sonic Unleashed or Sonic 06 or just all these Sonic games. It's really crazy. But anyways, if you need me, I'll be listening to Endless Possibilities on loop, so take care.